All right, this is the Undersound with Cherri B, and as I always say, this is a platform to promote underground talent, all types of artists. I feel like there's a lot of talent out here, way better than talent out now, and social media has made it easy for a lot of whack shit. And I want to promote the people. I want to promote the people that's really like that, that's doing something positive. You know what I mean? Like fire. Like let's promote them. So this is why you're here, Sparda.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
You woo. Peace and prosperity to you watching. This is Sparda Deleon. I'm so blessed to be a part of Cherri Undersound. You know what I mean? So it's been a long time.
Yes.
Coming. This has been a long time. You know, seeing the growth from the beginning to now. We just started. So.
Yep. So talk to me about the inspiration behind the name Sparda. Why did you decide you was going to use that as your artist name? Because you're an artist and engineer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So why are you carrying that name into the entertainment world?
So Sparda is actually Sparda Deleon. The name itself is actually an acronym. So it stands for seeing, positivity, affect, real, depression, always.
Okay.
And that's Sparda. And then Deleon is doing everything like everything's on naturally. So every time you hear the name Sparda Deleon, you think to yourself, fighting through the negativity into the positivity that lasts by doing things and being yourself naturally, not forcing anything, not overexerting yourself and doing things just for a click or a view. Just being who you naturally are.
Yep.
So yeah, that's basically where I get the name.
I like that.
Word.
Real shit. So when did the whole music thing start for you? How did you transition from an artist to an engineer?
Oh, good question. So basically, I started music, very, very young, but I didn't take it seriously until high school. And in high school is where I was able to, record myself, learn how to use the softwares and computer programs, to learn how to better equip myself in the music industry. So once I learned that I could record myself and I didn't really need an engineer, that's when I was like, you know what, just let me fall back into learning more about this side of the industry. So once I did that, once I learned more in high school and I started recording myself, it all led to me being able to work at Premier Studios where we currently are recording. And so it led me to an opportunity to become an engineer here based on the things that I already learned back in the day prior to being here. So it all fell into place.
That's fire. So talk to me about your musical journey. Like, where did it start? Like, what inspired you to do music?
So I always was listening to my pops, playing records, growing up on the oldies, the classics, Anita Baker's, Stevie Wonder's, and I was always around music. So growing up, being also involved, unfortunately, in an abusive household, music helped me to gain my voice. It helped me to gain my character because I wasn't allowed a voice in my house, growing up in, the Bronx, and we was poor, and you know what I mean? So music allowed me to create an identity for myself, to envision where I was going instead of where I was, and once I locked into the fact that where I wasn't where I was always gonna be, I just dove head into the music, and thank God music chose me back to give me an avenue to live off of, and right now, thank God, now that's all I'm doing now,
That's fire.
Yeah.
How did your environment growing up in the Bronx have an impact on your sound? Your sound as an engineer and as an artist?
Well, it's actually the biggest influence because growing up listening to artists like KRS-One, Big Pun, legendary artists from my borough, their sound is more of education, more of knowledge of self. You know, teaching people more to get in tune with who they are. You know what I mean? And in my music, I try to get people involved into learning who you are as a person before you go and try and conquer the world. And until I learned who I was as a man, you know, it was difficult for me to find out my place in the world because, you know, you're trying to fit in. You're trying to fit in. You're trying to fit in. And you notice until you know who you are, you don't know what you don't like. You don't know what you like. So you're trying everything, you know? Mm-hmm. And so those artists growing up, listening to them in the Bronx, they gave me direction, being that my dad, he really wasn't a mental influence, motivation to show me what to do. So I was listening to those guys and those gentlemen telling me what to do and how to be. And so those lyrics and those artists influenced me as a man and as an engineer as well, to keep the classic sound and message in my music. So yeah, they definitely played a heavy role in who I am now.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how it feels to be. They compared your sound to LL Cool J, Q-Tip, and Kanye, and Black Thought.
Oh yes.
So how does that feel like?
That to me is like a blessing because those gentlemen is like big influences on my sound. You know what I mean? And if you pay attention to those artists, like those artists have messages in their music. You know, they're not just talking about the same, you know, in and out of the trap, this chick, this, that. You know what I mean? Like they're really putting time and effort into their craft. And that's all I wish to achieve, you know what I mean? Is people allowing them to recognize the true intent in my music, which is just to be honest, to find out who you are, and to express that. You know what I mean? So for me to be compared to those dudes is like a blessing, really, you know, because that's the greatness of level that I wish to achieve, really.
What would you how would you describe your sound? Like, do you have a specific genre of music, or are you just a versatile artist?
Well, I definitely lean more towards the versatile side because I incorporate instrumentation in my music. You know, I know a bit about piano. I know how to play the little piano, you know. I also know how to dance a little something, you know what I mean?
Okay, Harlem Shake?
Yeah. So, you know, I choreograph a little something too. So,
okay.
You know what I mean? So all of that, you know, basically plays a part into the influences in artists. So really, my sound is all encompassing of jazz, rap, R&B. So it's kind of hard to put my sound into one box because at 1 minute I might be rapping the whole track, next minute you might hear me singing, the next minute you might just hear some instrumentation, then the next minute you might just hear a verbal, you know, monologue, you know, just of me talking and expressing myself through poetry, you know, and it's just a different kind of sound anytime you hear Sparda Deleon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you still do music? Like, you still do music?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, when did you start doing the engineering? What year would you say?
I'd say, to be honest, the year that started professionally engineering was 2019, I'd say.
So, how would you say you grown as an artist when you started engineering between 2019 and now?
Actually, when he joined, the same time. That 2019, and yeah.
So you want me to ask it again?
Yeah, ask it again.
How would you say, like you said, all right, you've been doing music,
right.
Then you just started doing music, and you just started engineering in 2019. So how can you say you've grown as an artist between 2019 and now? Since you started engineering.
Yeah, I would say my sound has definitely grown. It's not, because prior to me engineering, I was more on the rap side. I was more, you would hear bars, bars, bars. But once I started engineering, I started realizing that there's certain pockets, there's certain things that you can utilize as far as chorus, as far as breaks in the beat, as far as tones, as far as switching the beat, switching pitches, tempo. So much you can do within the realm of recording that adds to your lyricism, that adds to the music part of it. But prior to me even diving into that, I had no even just concept of, oh, you can do things differently. You don't have to stick to the 16 chorus, 16 chorus type of, layout. So it definitely helped me to, expand my ways of becoming an artist and expressing myself once I started locking into engineering.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
You're like having your cake and eat it with the ice cream.
Word.
So talk to me, I know this was a long time ago, but talk to me about the inspiration behind Magic.
Magic. Wow. That was a long time ago. Well, this Magic basically was like when I
got a lot of views.
Yeah, when I to be honest, when I heard the beat itself, which was produced by my bro Miles, shout out to Miles, it kind of reminded me of Mike Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And Mike Jackson is a heavy influence on me as well. You know what I'm saying? And so once I heard that, then what I wanted to express as far as where I was in my life at that time, I was really depressed. I just had found out that I was diabetic. And at that time, I was trying to find inspiration within myself because I was knocking myself. I'm like, man, I'm diabetic. I haven't made it in rap yet. I'm still struggling. And I was just trying to find some type of inspiration to influence myself, to bring myself back out of the depths of the corpse that I was dragging around, because I felt dead. I really felt dead around that time, especially being diagnosed with diabetes, because that's how a majority of my family had passed away.
Okay.
So once I heard the beat, and I knew it's like I knew I need to create magic. And magic is making something out of nothing. It's creating a way out of something. And so once I knew that this is what I am magic. I create magic. Magic is the courage to try the impossible, and to make it possible because you're trying it. Just the attempt at what you believe is not possible is creating magic.
That's a fact. It's like manifestation.
Right. Exactly. So that's why I was going there in my mind to create a song that would express that. And every time I hear that, I would remind myself and anyone else who hears it that, listen, you create magic each time you try. Just keep trying. Keep trying. And that's what this magic's about.
Do you have any albums out?
Oh yeah. Oh man. Honestly, that's the blessing. The blessing is I have a lot of work out that hasn't been viewed, because it hasn't been promoted properly. Because it was around the time when CDs was out,
What's your latest album?
My latest piece of work actually hasn't been released yet.
Okay.
It's coming out this year.
Make sure y'all stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. It's called The Sensei, Volume 1.
What's the inspiration behind The Sensei?
So, the people that I've been around in the studio, fortunately, I've been in life working in music for a long time. And, a lot of them come to me with their, worries, concerns about music or about their future. And I give them, advice or, things that I've seen, things that I've encountered. And most of the time, from what they've told me, it's worked out beneficial to them. And so from that standpoint, I realized that my stance in the game is different because I've lasted for so long. I can help people, I can express people, and get people past their initial feelings and worries and doubts, and to see the future that they're obtaining. So I said, you know what? I need to make an album that solidifies my stance of me teaching and influencing the people around me and all who listen to my voice, that there is a way to create and get to the future that you want. But it's going to take discipline. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take all of the things that a sensei entitles, a master entitles, 1,000 hours of work. You know what I mean? All of the things that it entails to become the best of who you want to be. And so that's the album. The sensei is all the journey, all the decisions, all of what you will need to become the best version of who you are.
Is that what inspired the motivational talks you have on YouTube?
Yes. Actually, it does. The people truly close to me, they're always listening to things that I say, on a whim, just to give them advice and things like that. But really, those videos are for me. You know what I mean? Like, I make those motivational videos for myself to kind of remind myself when I get lost or when I get angry that, there's more to your own reality than you believe. And we always get caught up in our day-to-day lives, and, we get so busy and blaming things on other people and, not really looking internally. And so all the time, I make those videos. Every single time, I'm making it a point to remind myself that what I'm saying is not just to the viewer, it's mainly to me. So that's what inspires those videos. And if the viewer gets something from it, that's a blessing too. But really, the truth of the matter is, I'm really being my own psychiatrist at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because life is hard, And most of the time, you don't have no one to really talk to about it.
That's true.
And then people think you're so quote-unquote crazy if you talk to yourself about it.
Yeah.
But to me, I think that shows the highest level of being in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
Being able to have those conversations, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's real shit.
Word.
Because you can't talk to everybody. It's like, you don't want to be called crazy or judged. Like,
for real. And that's the first thing us as people in general do is judge.
Yeah, for real.
Word.
So that's just, as a people, we got to get that together, because it's like, that's sad.
Yes.
Can't even talk to our neighbor because people just crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? You want to tell your business, do the most. Like, can't even talk to nobody.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? You got to hold everything in. Then when you're holding everything in, it builds up anger.
Yes.
It builds up a lot of shit that you can't, like, and then you let it out on the wrong person, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it should be weird.
The truth, though. Yeah.
So, what would you say some ups and downs you faced as an artist and an engineer?
People's egos is the biggest thing. As an engineer working with artists, they don't understand that as an engineer, I'm making you better. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there wasting my time. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you mean.
You know what I mean? You and your sound. At the end of the day, I want what's best for you. It's not that I'm trying to make your sound worse.
Yeah.
So treat the person in the chair with the same respect that you would treat in the booth. The same respect. That person is just as much as a superstar as you.
They make, the producers make most of the money.
Exactly.
Like, the rappers don't realize nowadays, it's like, they not really, you can't really, unless you really know what you're doing, the producers always make, producers always make more money than the rappers.
Exactly. Yep.
Like, come on now.
They don't know that.
They make whack people sound hot. Cause it's like, it's some people we listen to nowadays. We like, why these things don't got no bars, but it sound good though.
Yes.
You still gonna bump it because the beat fire, and somehow this nigga sound good. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta make sure you respect the producers and the engineers.
And trust me, working in a professional studio, you come across a lot of trash, a lot. And believe me, like the engineers be really saving the day, because even though they do the best that they can to make you sound like a star, there's but so much they can do. Mm-hmm. But what they do is incredible. So that is the downside of being an engineer. But, the upside is you come across some really talented artists.
Y'all, we just seen Pierre Bourne. That's his name, right?
Yes.
I'm in the elevator. I don't even know it's him. I'm like, oh my god, like
literally in the elevator with Pierre Bourne.
I'm like, yo, like how did I not?
And that see in itself is a blessing.
Yeah, that's fire.
Across so many industry people that are really cool. Shout out to Pierre Bourne, really blessed individuals. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That are calm, collected, and then also downside, you see the industry people that aren't cool, that do have an asshole vibe. Mm-hmm. And that is I know you heard the saying, don't meet your idols or don't meet your heroes. Mm-hmm. That could be true too. I've met a few industry, I won't say no names, but they definitely need to work on their social skills. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's the game, that's life. You meet people that's sweet, meet people that's rude. But yeah, I'll definitely take it. I'll take it.
So those are the ups.
Yeah.
Okay. So you also used to perform with bands and stuff.
Oh, yes. I miss
How was that?
Band. Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
How was that?
Oh, man. So, to be honest, that's the way I perform normally, is with a band. But unfortunately, my band has been, all over the world, so we had to disband. Some people, moved away and, got better offers, which is a blessing, But, a band to me is how I perform. That's really the best way to perform, I would say. No knock to nobody else, that doesn't use a band, that, isn't, familiar with instrumentation, but I think, that's the best way to perform, because it's kind of like a call and response, and then it's the energy that you receive from the band too. When I look at my drummer, when I look at my bass guitarist, and it's just like, the energy that they're giving me off of the instruments, it's like I'm feeding off of them, and they're feeding off my voice. So it's kind of like a spiritual element that's happening as we're performing as a band. You know what I'm saying? So... what you need a key for?
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the band, it's like an energy that we all share together, playing with each other, and so I normally use a band to perform, but now that we all got different lives, we all are different areas of the world, but honestly, once I get to another level, to where we're able to see each other again, link up, the band is definitely how I'm gonna perform, because it's like a spiritual kinship, when you perform it with each other. Y'all are sharing energy, sharing chemistry, between one another on stage, and it's like they're vibing off my voice, I'm vibing off their instruments. And it's definitely a unique experience, and that's honestly the best way to perform. Okay,
so what's coming out? What you doing next? What's next for you? Because I know you do this on it. This is a job for you, something you love to do plus a job. So this is something you do on a daily basis. Now, before what's next, has there anybody that you did produce for that you was like, wow, like?
Oh man. Well, I've worked with a lot of different artists before, but there's certain artists that I'm working with now that I don't want to mention.
Okay.
But it's just to say that it's been a blessing, like just to be in the same space with these artists and being able to work with them. But yeah, so just be on the lookout for things coming. You know,
Yeah, I heard it.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Collaborations, producers, as well as big A&Rs. We're definitely doing something different this year. We're really trying to make something official happen with no clout, no weirdo-ness, just straight, natural, real music.
Natural, real talent.
Talent, yes.
Facts.
Word.
So, what's next for you? What's coming next?
So,
because you did say you got the Sensei coming next, so
yes,
what's
yes,
after
the
that?
album's coming out later this year, but the single off the album, Medusa, is coming in May. I'm definitely releasing the single in May, so everybody be on the lookout for the Medusa single off the album. The video's coming the same time. We got a collaboration with Deleon already out, the My Time song that's already been out doing the numbers. We trying to push it to 1 million, so go run that up. We almost there. Please, you know what I mean? Show the love, keep building up the numbers, but yeah, as far as what's next, that's what's next. And we also are now, teaming up and pairing up with the Undersound Studios. And we gonna be, you know what I mean, offering these interviews, you know what I mean, these reviews and things like that. So be on the lookout for new interviews featuring that. You know what I mean? So we definitely working out here.
Definitely working.
Yes, we are.
Is there any advice you could give somebody that's trying to do what you're doing in the engineer world and in the music world, the artist world?
Well, and in both worlds, really, the number one thing I'd say is to keep your composure, because being an engineer, people, and artists, people, studios, managers, owners, they tend to come for you, even as an artist, bloggers, media people, journalists, they tend to come for you, haters, people everybody tends to come for you, and it's so easy to get angry. It's so easy to just flip that switch and lose yourself for that one instance, and then the next thing you know, you either lose your life or you lose your freedom. So the number one thing I always tell anyone I meet is to keep your composure. Do not let anyone pull you out of your spirit. Do not let anyone pull you out of your position, because it's that easy for you to lose everything, and it's always in your power. Some people say, he did this, he said that. He has the power to say whatever he wants, but you have the power to do whatever you want. So you could just stop yourself. You just walk away. Just ignore. And that doesn't make you pussy, that makes you powerful. You dig? So
I needed to hear that. I lost my composure like 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe last month.
Maybe last month.
You feel me? Like I lost it, so it's like,
wow.
I needed to hear that, because that's
deep.
real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
I don't bother nobody, but when it comes to my business, I'm real like,
I know.
Especially when you built it from nothing, like, you know what I'm saying? So you like, that's your passion, baby. That's your, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't do it.
Everything, yes.
You know what I'm saying? But yes. I needed to hear that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm so glad. The spirit let me just tell you.
Feel me? So, thank you, Sparda, Deleon.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming on to Undersound with Cherri B, and I also want to thank you for being a person, not just an artist, a human being, to show others that it's still possible to keep going and follow your dreams no matter what comes through, no matter what happens. It is still possible to follow your dreams and do what you want in your life, as long as you put the work in, and you definitely shown people that. And I want to thank you for that. I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Cherri B. Word. We gonna be working together all day, every day soon. So it's just the beginning.
Okay.
Word. You double, you woo.
Now just tell the people where they can find you real quick.
Yeah. Everywhere you could find me at Sparda Deleon. Everywhere. SPARDA, not a T, DA, DELEON.com as well. SpardaDeleon.com. Got my socials on there. Got everything on there. Please stay in touch. Stay blessed and stay you.
10 facts your favorite show. That's a fact you ought to know. 10 facts your favorite show.